Hi everyone, my name is Payanna and welcome to my video, and today's book is Martians Go Home by Fredric Brown. So this is a book that I picked up in my quest to find sci-fi classics. I really want to look more into sci-fi, the famous writers and famous novels, and I had heard of Fredric Brown before because Stephen King mentions him. Quite a lot of other authors talk about this man and how important he was for horror and sci-fi, but I'd never read any of his novels, and I came across this one. This is part of a collection that I've been working hard to get hold of. It's called Masterpieces of Science Fiction. It's a French series which I'd like to do a video about because I think it's interesting. This series came out in 1970, so it really is one for like obsessive book collectors like me. I looked it up and I thought it looked interesting, and it really is. So it tells the story of a writer called Luc Devereaux, who, this is set in 1960, and he retires to a cabin, like an isolated cabin, to write his new novel and forget about his disastrous divorce. However, he fails at both, just gets completely drunk, and starts thinking about writing a sci-fi novel about an alien invasion, at which point he gets a knock on the door and finds himself face to face with an actual Martian. And the Martians really are little green men. So this creature is about 75 centimeters high, has green skin, a big bald head, his body's really frail and skinny, and he calls Luke Mac and nothing else. Barges into his home and just starts mocking and basically giving negative criticism on everything he does. He's immaterial, so Luke can't touch him. This creature can travel through walls and also teleport itself. And Luke puts this down to a drunken hallucination. He doesn't think that this creature is real until the next day when he goes into town and discovers that the Martians have taken over. So the Martians don't attempt any kind of violence. Their purpose is to just observe and mock and criticize and drive people to have mental breakdowns. They appear in every single home. They look in on couples trying to have intimate relationships, disrupt card games, theatres, plays, television, radio programs, everything they can come in and give some kind of negative commentary on, they will do. So they make snide remarks, they're incredibly irritating, they openly ridicule people and give away secrets, even top secret military documents. There's a scene where they come into like this top secret military army base in the USA and look up all their secrets. They're like, okay, now let's go see what the Russians are doing and tell them everything. And it ends up with this like high-ranking military general just having a total breakdown and going insane, which is what happens to a lot of people because they can't take this kind of thing. So the Martians' only point of being there is just to observe and presumably bring human civilization to its doom by just driving everyone to have mental breakdowns. A lot of things stop. People stop having intimate relationships in the bedroom. They stop TV shows, radio shows, all of that stops. No more theatre because no one has to deal with the aliens. Also, people like stop committing crimes and stop lying because the aliens they just know everything, they can read minds and they know what's going on, so they'll just give it all away. So there are like negative consequences to this Martian invasion, also pretty good ones, but a lot of frustration takes place. And I really enjoyed that because this is essentially mankind being a victim of its own behaviour, because we have all these secrets and we have all these ways of living our lives that are so important to us, and then put in a disruptive element that is just knows everything and will say everything and speak its mind whatever happens. Your brain kind of starts working in a different way and adapting to this and dealing with it one way or another. So I really enjoyed that side of the novel, and Fredric Brown really did think of everything, like what it would be like all over the world, because we have a quite a big portion of the story from Luke's point of view, but also just other chapters from completely random characters all over the world, and to just see what's happening. And there are different statistics for different things, people's reactions, politicians giving speeches trying to sort this stuff out, and they can't talk to the Martians. Whenever they start asking them questions, the Martians just answer, you know, that's none of your business. They're here to spy on humans, not the opposite. So I am definitely very curious about Fredric Brown's work now, especially as like he's written horror novels, and I do want to read more horror. That was kind of one of my goals for this year, which I haven't yet done, so I really should do that. I just keep getting sidetracked. But yes, Fredric Brown horror novels. I need to write that down somewhere. The other thing that I found out about him is he is the writer who invented the super godlike computer. Because he wrote apparently a lot of short stories, like very short stories that were like just one page. And he was the one who wrote about all the scientists getting every computer in the world together to create a supercomputer, and then asking it if God exists, and the computer answers, well, now it does. So he's the one who invented the supercomputer. He's the one who invented the Thunderhead. He is the father of the Thunderhead. So yeah, if you haven't read Ark of a Scythe by Neil Shusterman, go do that. I have videos about the entire trilogy. I thought it was brilliant. And that was made possible, the Thunderhead, the supercomputer that rules over the world, that is essentially God to everyone. Well, Fredric Brown made that happen. So that was quite endearing. So that was Martians Go Home by Fredric Brown. So really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was really funny. I think, yeah, this is one of the books, like, when you're reading it, you need to bear in mind that this was published in the late 1950s. So there are a few things, not a huge amount of things, but there were a couple of things that kind of tweaked me, where I was like, that wouldn't maybe not be politically correct today. But nonetheless, this holds up pretty well. 50 years later, 60 years later, it still, I think it works. Like, you wouldn't have to tweak a lot to make this work in our modern day. Yeah, really, I do really recommend this one. I thought it was really funny. I thoroughly enjoyed reading it. Martians Go Home by Fredric Brown. So that's it for this video. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.